What's up? It's Jeremy Picker from Amber Creative.
This is Deanna with In the Zoning and Print Girl Mafia.
This is Ray Weiss with Printing the Night of the Lion.
You're listening to the Two Regular Guys podcast.
Hosted by Terry Combs RG, Regular Guy, and Kylene Montgomery.
The place to be for industry news.
The best dad jokes on earth, along with relevant topics to apparel decorators.
Fashion to the people. Welcome into the show. It is Friday, May 30th, 2025. I'm Terry Combs. You can find me at terrycombs.com.
And I'm Mary Montgomery from our Success Group and American Print and Supply. And this week we have a special mega podcast for you guys all. We didn't come up with a good name beforehand, so I apologize for that. But first, we're going to be welcoming in a little bit later Cassie Green and Kristine Shreve. Both people you guys know and love here on the Two Regular Guys. And they have a relatively new, they've been doing it for a little bit here, podcast called The Threads of Change over there at the apparelist.com. And so we want to introduce you guys to that podcast first and foremost, and make sure that you guys, the regulators, make that part of your regular rotation. But then a special treat, and definitely a special treat for me as well, together with the Threads of Change team there, we get to interview my wife, Kylene Montgomery, about mental health and the power of gratitude. So the Threads of Change podcast really tackles topics like that and many others. So we're going to rely on them to kind of give you guys the best information, but Terry and I will be along for the ride as well. And if we have anything to interject, or we're just going to smile and nod. So,
but Kylene's not going to jump into a seat next to you, because where are you?
I'm in, as you can tell, there's some things going on around us here. I'm in Schaumburg, Illinois at the DAX show here in Schaumburg. And so the show floor just opened as we got started. So it's really, people are looking at me funny, and that's okay. I'm used to it.
And maybe some faces will pop onto your camera like before we went on the air.
That's right. For sure. So,
all right. Well, we have a jam-packed show today, so we're going to be bringing you the secret sauce again next week. We don't want to do an hour and a half show, so we're gonna put a pause on secret sauce this week.
Absolutely. All right. Good morning, Rena. Thanks for being here. Yeah. So no secret sauce, but we do have the news. In fact, got a bunch of great news coming from great news, but really excited for WIN here, World Imaging News, to share with us what is happening out there in the world today, Terry. So if you're ready, I will do my best to push the buttons here.
All right, let's hear the news.
All right, here we go.
Hey there, listeners. Maria Jose Clavijo here, coming to you from the always vibrant Bogota, Colombia. Welcome to another episode of Two Regular Guys, your favorite hangout for all things print and imaging.
And I'm Dan, checking in from sunny Los Angeles, California with the World Imaging News team. If you caught our last episode, we broke down the major themes and trends from FESPA Berlin. But today, get ready. We're diving into the juicy stuff. Some of the bigger product launches that came from the FESPA show.
Oh yes, this is the good part. And if you have been following our quick news newsletter, and really you should be, you've probably seen some of the videos we feature straight from the FESPA show floor. Pro tip, we've published more than 50 videos already this year covering shows around the world. It's been nonstop.
50 videos, 50. I mean, MJ, we've really been hustling. So today we're spotlighting 5 standout product announcements from FESPA. Plus, drum roll, we're launching a brand new feature just for our Two Regular Guys listeners. MJ, you want to spill the beans?
I mean, of course I do, but then why do I always get the fun stuff?
Honestly, I have no idea. I should really talk to my agent. Oh, actually, I don't have an agent. Anyway, let's jump into our top 5 products from FESPA, and then MJ will do the big reveal.
Okay, let's do it, but wait then. Quick teacher. Did you know that one of the Two Regular Guys hosts made it into our personal and distribution channel news?
Oh, yes. Aaron Montgomery has taken on a new role, as you heard him say today, at American Print and Supply as their education and community outreach partner. And let me tell you, I can already see his fingerprints all over their content and initiatives.
That's amazing. Huge congrats to Aaron. But then, if we don't move it along, we're going to need a part two for this episode. So let's roll with the top five.
All right, here we go, MJ. And you get to deliver the final one. First story is all the major Japanese players have officially joined the DTF party. Mimaki has dropped not one, but 3 DTF printers. Epson and Muto launched their own, of course, Muto with STS. Roland rolled out 2, and now Brother and Rico joined during FUSPA. That's a DTF tsunami. Our second story is Fujifilm came in swinging with a lineup of new printers, including some serious $1 million machines. I'll take 5. But the star for us, the Acuity Tridon with Aquafuse ink. This is a water-based UV ink, which sounds like an oxymoron, but it's real and is far more eco-friendly thanks to low voltage curing and reduced environmental impact. This is something we're going to be watching very closely. Another one, big surprise, Sawgrass made a surprise comeback. It's been a while since they made waves, but their new VersaFlex ink is really a game changer. Good sublimation, hard surfaces, fabric transfers, and more. And yes, it's shipping now. The fourth story is we got an exclusive sneak peek at Roland's new Dements wallpaper printer. Roland acquired Dements based in Estonia last year. And while the new model hasn't been officially launched yet, the direction they're headed in for textured wall coverings looks seriously promising.
And rounding out our top 5, I'm thrilled to announce a brand new segment just for Two Regular Guys listeners, Wins Product of the Month, where we spotlight one standout product or innovation shaking up the industry. This month, the spotlight's on the X-Tool apparel printer. Now, it's not shipping yet, but we saw production units live at FESPA, and let me tell you, it's turning heads. You probably know X-Tool from their laser cutters. They've sold over 500,000 units, and now they're stepping into apparel printing.
That's a really bold move. And the specs seem to be very good. Fully automated workflow, prints on all colored fabrics, self-cleaning, dual i1600 print heads, and speeds up to 50 square feet per hour. It supports both Mac and PC, and pricing starts at around $5,000 or $8,000 if you bundle in the shake and bake system with heat press.
Exactly that. And if it delivers what they're promising, this could be a real game changer in the DTF space.
MJ, I totally agree. Of course, the big test will be how well they support their DTF customers, because that's where a lot of new players stumble. And many of us on the show, of course, have experienced that in the past. So it will be very interesting to see if they can surmount this challenge. MJ, we've covered a number of important stories today, as we do every month. To stay up to date on the latest news and trends in digital imaging, please go over to www.worldimagingnews.com and
www.worldimagingnewslatina.com
to sign up for our weekly newsletter, Win Quick News. And that's the Win News, folks. I'm Dan Barefoot.
And I'm MJ.
And until the next time, stay healthy and keep on smiling.
Manténganse saludables y sigan sonriendo.
All right, that's awesome. Those guys always seem to root out news that you didn't expect. I haven't seen Sawgrass in a long time, and interesting to see that they're making some inroads back into the marketplace.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, also we've got another quick thing to share, something that we're very excited to be a part of here, Terry. The Branded Merch Network and ASI, Apparelist, and us have gotten together with Jay Bassell leading the charge here to Why It Matters Live, the Sustainable Merch Summit. So let's hear a quick word from Jay on that, if that's all good.
All right.
Hello, regulators and listeners of the Two Regular Guys podcast. It's me, Jay Bassell, with the Branded Merch Network. Super fired up to share a quick message with you on sustainability. Now, hold on before you tune me out. Sustainability is really important. It's more than just some buzzword, right? It's more than just marketing. Truth be told, this is part of your DNA, or at least it should be, and it should be a buying decision. It should be a signal that people can trust you. So if you are still one of those businesses that is using sustainability as some marketing buzzword, or it's just on your to-do list in a marketing checkbox, or it's it should be nice to have that kind of thing, you are going to get left behind. And so that's why we started at hosting the Why It Matters Live Sustainable Merch Summit, Tuesday, June 10th at 1 p.m. Eastern or 10 a.m. Pacific. And it's virtual, it's free, it's built for industry pros, it's built for people who are busy and want real answers and real impact and aren't interested in the recycled fluff. So this isn't some boring 3-hour lecture, boring is the enemy. This is rapid fire, 2 hours of quick hits, panels, discussion, mini keynotes, videos, case histories, things that are working. And I am so lucky because I get to moderate one of the panels, which is Sustainability Sells. Good for the planet, great for your business. And listen, I've got so many people to thank. I don't know if I can name drop enough people right now, but Julie from EcoSticks, Melissa from Lane 7, Robert from Brand Fuel, Joseph from Whitestone, Ryan Moore and Mel Lay from Allmade, Gold Star, thank you. Stalls, thank you. Cassie at Apparelist, oh my gosh, Teresa at ASI, thank you. The Printing United Alliance, Jeff at Branded Merch Network, and of course, the amazing 2 regular guys, which is really 3 guys. So thank you, Eric. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Terry. Your support to help us amplify this message is huge. We want to move the industry forward. And by the way, this is going to be something that you're going to remember, and it's going to be something that's going to make a difference in your business. So this is for business owners. This is for decorators, marketers, printers. This is for suppliers. This is for anyone who's really ready to make merch better and make it with purpose. So promo peeps, apparel geeks, print freaks, you're invited. Need you there June 10th. Registration is free. It's still open. Go to brandedmerchnetwork.com. Grab yourself a free spot. Block your calendar, charge up your AirPods, get ready to be challenged and inspired, and get ready to take action. So that's it. That's all I've got. I thank you guys. Talk to you soon. See you then.
All right, Terry.
Lots of folks signed up for that already, and you make sure that you're there. 1 o'clock Eastern Time, June 10th, and I think you had the registration up on the screen there. So. Or you can go to the brandedmerchnetwork.com, I believe. I should have checked that before went on the air, but and so you can sign up there, or reach out to the 2 regular guys, and we can help you do that. But be a part of it.
Absolutely. All right, Terry. We got one more thing to get to before we get Cassie and Kristine in here, which I think people would stop listening if we skipped the dad joke. Right? We could skip secret sauce. We can skip a few things here and there, but I think the dad joke's imperative. Kristine wouldn't probably be here without it, I think. But no, I'm totally kidding. She's anyhow. All right. Well, got a good dad joke here, Terry, and I'm going to use this later in my seminar that I'm doing too. So kind of testing it right now.
Let's hear your dad joke.
All right, here we go. All right, Terry. Why can't you trust an atom?
I don't know. Why can't you trust an atom?
Because they make up everything.
Those microscopic little liars.
Where's Eric when we need him?
Yeah, I'll do it for him.
Okay, thank you. All right, well, a little housekeeping, Terry, and then we will get our guests in here.
All right, before we dive in, we want to thank everybody for checking out the 2 Regular Guys podcast. We still need your voices. We would love to have the regulators participate in our show intros. Go to osg.link/intro. Read a few sentences, be a part of every show. We are always looking for new guests. So if you or anyone you know would like to join us, go to calendly.com/2, the number 2, regular guys. Book an episode or email us at info@2regularguys.com with your show ideas. If you are listening to the podcast version of our show, we would appreciate you sharing the 2 Regular Guys podcast with all of your industry friends so they can become regulators too. We would appreciate you giving us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Podcasts, YouTube Podcast. Wherever you do your podcast listening, we are there. And if you're watching us live right now, please join in with your comments and your questions.
Absolutely. All right, Terry. Well, good stuff there. See, okay, the dad joke did work for at least one person. Doug says my wife's a chem teacher and has a shirt with that joke. So, all right,
Nice.
I appreciate that. All
Well,
right.
Cassie's going to be on the show here in a second, and she's really held us to a higher level because in her interest, she goes, and the best dad jokes. So that
I know.
really put us on a.
I'm not sure if we've delivered on that, but we do our best. All right. Well, let's get them in here. This is exciting stuff. I'm really excited to talk to them. And so here we go. I'm pushing buttons and talking at the same time. We're doing it. Hello there, you two. Welcome in. Thank you guys so much for being here. So Threads of Change co-hosts first and foremost here. So we've got Cassie Green and Kristine Shreve. Thank you guys so much for being here with us today. But before we grab Kylene here in just a second, give us a quick overview of what Threads of Change is, how it came to life, all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah, I'll start, but this is really sort of Kristine's baby. So I maintain an editorial advisory board for the Apparelist, and Kristine is one of my esteemed members. And I had put out a call for content. What do we need to cover with Apparelist? What are topics we should have? What's important to the industry? And Kristine chimed in with this amazing idea that, there really isn't a lot of discussion in the industry when it comes to things like mental health or even being a minority in the industry and kind of what those challenges are. And of course, there are really great groups like Unite Together, which I'm involved in, and people like that have started to change the rhetoric. However, we really wanted to bring these conversations to more of a public sphere where lots of people can participate and encompasses a lot. And so, Kristine, I'll let you take it from here, but that's where it got started. Kristine is kind of the voice.
Well, she's always been a change maker, so I'm excited to hear more about this.
Well, honestly, I pitched the idea to Cassie in an email, and I thought, well, yeah, it's a nice idea, but it's never going to go anywhere because I've been talking about this stuff with various people for a long time. Cassie emailed me back and said, can you hop on a chat with me and we'll talk about it? And I was like, she's going to say, what are your ideas? We'll take it from here. And what she said was, we really like this. Do you want to do it? And I said, yes, please. And we went through the whole process of figuring out how that was going to work and what it was going to be. And so far we have, Cassie, I'm trying to remember, is it 4 shows that we've recorded so far or 5?
We have recorded quite a few at this point.
Yeah, and I don't remember exactly how many, but everything that we've recorded so far has been just like blow the top of your head off with people coming in and being vulnerable and honest and just so focused and willing to share. And we've had some really great topics. And the topic for May, which is Mental Health Awareness Month, was certainly no exception to that. So I'm just really, really proud of this. It was something I really hoped to see for a long time. And I cannot give enough credit to Apparelist and Cassie and everybody who's behind this show on their end, because I finally get to do the stuff that I was supposed to do. I'm apparently a fairy in that I'm the talent. I do not want to push the buttons or make the graphics. I just want to come up with the ideas and write the scripts and do the talking.
You saw what I do here and you thought, no, this guy's got it figured out.
I'm like, you know what? What I needed was an Aaron and an Eric, and I found Cassie, and she's my Aaron and my Eric. So.
I don't know if I could be at that level, but we try.
But it's been just a really amazing experience so far, and Cassie and I have walked away from every recording session going, we just can't believe what people are willing to share and the wisdom that they're bringing out. And I think really this could be a serious instrument for change in the industry. And I'm not saying this industry is better or worse than any other industry. There are always things that could be changed, and there are always things that could be made better. So that's really the goal of this.
Well, Cassie, Kristine mentioned the May event was awesome. Do you want to tell us a little about that one?
Yeah, and that's why it ties so perfectly that we're doing that, even though it's almost last day of May, still May. But yeah, so
it counts,
right? It still counts, right? And so Kristine had a previous discussion with a woman named Amanda Delaney, and she's currently with Logo Mark, but she has sort of been a voice for mental health. She's in the past been very open with her journey with mental health. She has shared her story. And it was really interesting to bring her on to the May show because she brought to the forefront that, she has shared her journey in the past, but it has since changed. Your story changes throughout, and just the fact that people are willing to share their stories or, take away something. And I think that was, maybe Kristine could agree with me here, one of the most important pieces of this episode, the May episode of Threads of Change, is that your story does change and each of our journeys is different. And it's just about a mutual respect and feeling of respect for the people that we engage with in the industry and the people that we talk with in the industry. So yeah, I took a lot away from Amanda's episode. Kristine and I are the co-hosts, but I take away a ton from these episodes.
Well, one of the reasons that I wanted to have Amanda on for this particular episode, and not to negate, Kathy Chang was awesome. Yeah. We have an episode with Jenna Caranta, which is amazing. But Amanda and I didn't really have the same trajectory, but we've kind of operated in the same space for a while. And it was an interesting discussion to kind of be, okay, where are we now? And what do we owe people who know us as people who've been honest about their struggles? Do we still have to keep talking about that? Or is that our brand now? So that's also something that we'll be bringing up when we have Kylene on too. But it's an interesting conversation. And I think we came through with some good insights, I think.
Awesome. So as long as it's not the exact same day and time as the two regular guys, where can people tune in and learn more about this podcast?
Yeah. So Aaron was kind enough to share some links. But if you just go to apparelist.com and go to our podcast page, the Threads of Change is part of that lineup of podcasts, and that's currently where it lives. We are also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can find us there. And those are the places. And then, of course, there's a link specifically there, Threads of Change, to the May episode. And that's currently where it lives. Now, Kristine and I have big dreams and goals for this. And so hopefully as time goes on and we grow as a podcast, there will be other places you can find us.
Mm-hmm. It would be fun to go live at some point too, but
yeah.
But did we lose Terry's audio?
Hear you.
Yeah, Terry, you got muted there.
There we go.
That's when Aaron's supposed to start speaking Spanish over me. When
I'm having a hard time hearing him now. Like, wait, hold on a second.
I was like, wait, it's the old days.
It is the old days.
And of course, I'm talking about technical difficulties as I'm muting myself. So there it is.
There we go. Cool. All right. Well, thank you guys for that background. Thank you for putting this together and driving that change. Like I mentioned earlier, Kristine to me has always been a change maker, and I love that. And Cassie, you as well, carrying flags for things that are important to you. And so excited for our listeners to go make sure they check out your guys' podcast. But we want to do a podcast inside of a podcast here too. And so I'm really excited to get to welcome in my wife. And let me hit a button here. Hello, Kylene. Thank you so much for being here with us today and joining us. Kylene Montgomery of Rise, Shine, Smile Yoga. And thanks for being here, Kylene.
Thanks for having me. I'm super excited about this. I do believe that everything that you ladies have shared about the month of May being mental health awareness, talking about it just begins to reduce any stigma we have attached to it. So I'm super excited to be here and to
love it. Love it. All right. Well, as we kind of mentioned earlier, what we kind of would like to do is do our best. We're going to stay in here and be part of the conversation where we can. But honestly, in a big way, we want to show you guys too how how Cassie and Kristine kind of bring threads of change together. So is it okay if we kind of turn it over to you guys, Cassie and Kristine?
Sure.
All right.
You see the inside of our process a little bit.
That's right.
Cassie, do you want me to do the standard intro?
Sure. Let's do it.
Okay, we're going to give you the whole experience here. Hi, everybody. I'm Kristine Shreve here with Cassie Green, and it is another edition of Threads of Change. This week, we are thrilled to have with us Kylene Montgomery of Rise and Shine Yoga and The Gratitude Shift, which is the book that she wrote with her husband, Aaron Montgomery. And we're going to have a discussion about gratitude and mental health and probably some stuff we don't even know we're going to talk about yet, because it's us. I'm going to let Cassie kick it off.
Sure. And yeah, big thanks to everybody who was part of making this collaboration podcast. I'm really excited. It is the first time Kristine and I are technically live. So This is a lot of fun. And thanks to Aaron, Terry, and Kylene for being here. So Kylene, because it is the month of May and we are very excited about mental health awareness and well-being, I've followed along with you for a little while now because I love what you do. So you're a yoga instructor. You do lots of really cool things in terms of like meditation. I've listened to a few of Kylene's meditations, which are always really cool. So I'm just curious, can you tell us about your journey into the world of like mental health and well-being?
Most definitely. Well, thank you again for having me here. My journey started about, I guess, when I was in college. I always wanted to help people see their potential. And then, as you guys know, life happens and we process things, we create stories around events that we have. And I always wanted people to thrive because I believe we all have unique gifts that we need to share. So, I wanted to have tools that I can share with people so they can have that magical moment in their life and truly thrive and grow. So yoga happened about 4 years ago. I started teaching yoga because for me, when I feel the best, it's when I'm practicing yoga, because for me, it's quieting my mind and strengthening my body, building that mind-body connection again. And then I've been fortunate to work with veterans at the VA for, I don't know, long time, 15 years, I think, in a counselor-like role. So I've been in the world, I see it, and I see the magic that happens when people can use gratitude, they can use yoga, things like that to really kind of work through some of those challenges that life likes to throw at us.
I love that. Mm-hmm. I really love that. And I want to talk to you because I know one of the reasons that I talk about mental health a lot is because it helps me too. Mm-hmm. I'm, sharing my story or I'm figuring things out by talking to others, but I want to know what you think the value is in talking about mental health, talking openly about it.
Well, I think the biggest thing is by being brave enough to talk about it, especially if it's your own personal story. It's opening that conversation, that connection, that you're not alone. If you are the other person who is internalizing how you're feeling, it kind of gives you that opening that, hey, there's other people out there and I'm not alone, and it's okay to ask for help. And I think talking about it, that's exactly what it's doing. So, for those people who are open to sharing their personal story, amazing. But it is a personal choice if people feel like that is necessary to share. But yeah, I mean, the more we can talk about it, the less stigma we have attached to it.
Well, I love that you made the point that it's a personal choice, because I think sometimes people feel if they encounter someone who is very open about that stuff and they don't feel comfortable doing it, that there's something wrong with them. And it's like, no, it's, everybody has a comfort level with what they want to share. Some people are like me and they're like, I'll blurt out anything about my life that you want to know because that's kind of how I operate. But not everybody's like that. And that's okay. So I think that's an important point to make. So I just wanted to put a little extra oomph under that one.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I think that that's an important point too, because one of the things we did talk to Amanda Delaney about on the previous episode of Threads of Change is whether or not you have to share your personal story. And I agree, you don't have to share it because each person's experience is different, right? And each person's engagement with it is different. So Kylene, maybe you could expand a little bit about what your perspective is about how each person's journey differs, and why we don't have to necessarily share our story.
Most definitely. We get to create the stories. Well, we do create the stories in our mind of events that happen, right? We internalize that, and our brain does what it does to keep us safe or protected. And we're all at different stages of what's happened to us in life. There's no one out there that has this cookie cutter perfect life. They may portray that, and present that, but that's truly not what happens in life. And so some people feel the need to share so they can connect. It's that they're validating their feelings in a way by expressing what's happening. But we can express it in different ways. We can express it through journaling, through prayer, through meditation, through any crying. That's a form of release and processing. Everyone does it differently. So I think when we are talking to someone, and if we know someone is struggling, or something else is happening, they're not fully present, just allow them to be where they're at, because that is exactly where they're supposed to be. And I think if we can approach those conversations, that person is just going to open up in their own time. But again, you might not ever know what really is happening inside, and that's okay.
I love that. And one of the things I was really excited about when we said we were going to do this is I wanted a chance to pick your brain about how do you handle it? Because this has happened to me. How do you be the leader of the conversation, or how do you facilitate someone else who either wants to tell you a story or wants to make a connection? Because I've had that happen to me where I've been places and somebody walks up to me and says, I saw that podcast you did, or I read that thing that you wrote, or whatever, and they want to share something with me. And sometimes I feel like I'm woefully unprepared for that. So I'm just wondering, as a mental health professional and someone who does this, professionally, what tips would you have?
I think you take that conversation where you feel comfortable.
Okay.
And then always in your back pocket, I would say, ensure that you encourage them. If you feel like they might need some professional help, encourage them to explore it. Give them that crisis line number 988 is really important. They just call 988. I've had to call it for some veterans recently, and there are people that answer the phone. It is a real thing. It works. So have that in your back pocket. If you feel like the conversation tends to head down a little bit of a heavy path. But I think what you can do is just listen to them genuinely, and you take that conversation to where you're comfortable.
Right.
And you don't have to solve their problems. You don't have to do any of that. You can just listen with a good heart and, acknowledge that, hey, this is really cool that you have that insight of what's happening. That's really what this first step is when people start exploring their issues that they might be feeling, or having in their life. That first step is just acknowledging it's there. That's huge. And I think when you give someone that encouragement, like, hey, what you're doing right now is huge, people feel, I don't know, you can almost see their energy shift in their body. I know when I'm like talking to some veterans, one of the questions I ask is, how are you doing emotionally? And it just like, there's something that switches, like, no one's ever asked me that, or wow. And it just gives them that opening. And then you can really create some change and really support someone on their growth when it comes to mental health. But that's how I would handle those situations and do handle those situations. I never, with mental health, it can be serious. And so I always would, again, encourage people to seek counseling if you feel like they need that professional level. But you
Yeah,
can
and that's always, I mean, I always make it clear that I am not a professional, that, you know, I'm telling my stories and I'm more than willing to listen and, you know, share what advice I might have from my experiences, but I'm not a counselor, I'm not a professional, I'm not trained to do this. But I love that advice because I think number one, having a resource in your back pocket you can give people is really important. And also just what you were saying about sometimes it's just being able to talk to somebody, just having somebody listen to you and make a connection. And it's like, okay, what you were talking about earlier, I'm not alone. I think that's a big thing too. So I love that. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling now.
You're good.
Well, to your point, Kristine and Kylene, you brought up there are resources. So yes, even if someone is sort of leading a public conversation about mental health, Kristine, like you said, but not necessarily a professional, there are resources, like you said, Kylene, you can call a crisis line, or there are lots of, you know, therapy options out there. And then, of course, there are also some good reading materials. Hold on, everybody.
Oh, you got your...
Ah, she's got it.
Kylene has it too, but
so Erin does too.
it's a great book though, because I think though, even though it serves as a book for just some reading about gratitude, it's about a mindset, like in helping your mindset and finding those resources that are available. So for me, when I read this book, I really latched onto this. It says right here on the cover, you know, the transformation with positive energy. And I love that idea. You wrote it with Erin, of course, and lots of friends in the industry. And so, you know, how do you see, Kylene, resources like your book or just these other reading materials serving as a positive way to help others?
I love that. And thank you for bringing this up. The gratitude shift was really, it wouldn't be in your hands if it wasn't for Erin. So I'm really grateful for that. You know, you can hear Erin's voice in there. He's all about the action steps. So, you know, it's good for us to talk about gratitude. You know, it is, I do believe, our superpower. We all have access to it. We just have to choose to do that. So there's some prompts in this book to help people kind of shift their mindset to maybe look for the good. There's some really amazing stories in this book from people who have used gratitude in their life to get through some really difficult moments. And I think for me, that was the most powerful thing, to hear that from different voices, because we're going to connect to different people in different ways. And if they can pull something from that and then realize, hey, I can use gratitude in this moment and it's okay. I mean, it's huge, because life, like I said earlier, can throw us some curveballs when we're not expecting it. And it's okay to feel the feelings. None of that is wrong. But if we can choose to frame it like, I'm grateful, like my dad passed away, it'll be 2 years tomorrow. Gratitude was the one thing that got me through it. And it's like, how do you be sad and grateful at the same time? But really what you're doing is, I'm grateful that I had those years with him, right? I'm grateful for being able to be there with him when he took his last breath. You know, those kinds of things you can choose to look at, and then it brings that vibration up, and then it has the ripple effect as well to the other people around you. So you're changing that energy. It's an energy shift inside of you.
Ooh, I got goosebumps just now.
It's another goosebump moment, Cassie. We have one at least one every show, it feels like.
Well, I was able to say that without crying for the first time. So,
well, good for you. That's a step.
Yeah. So it is a resource that people have access to. They can use those prompts and things like that. But the other thing is just our mind and body nourishment is a really important thing to remember. You know, movement. So that's why I love yoga, because I can quiet my mind and reset and refocus. I think for me, it's a gift, but that might not be for everyone, and that's okay. So lean into what fills you up again, so you can truly be present. Erin likes to say, "Slow down to speed up." Really, that's true. You're slowing down to get recentered again, so you're not just constantly reacting. You get to slow down, be intentional, and then choose to look for the things in your life that are serving you. Appreciate the people in your life that are around you. Create that success team around you. I mean, all of those things are there for you, and so we just have to slow down to pay attention to that.
Okay, well, we couldn't end this little discussion we're having without me picking your brain just a little, because you are a professional in the mental health wellness space, and you've been taking a journey in this mental health and wellness space. I'm curious, what resources or messaging do you think is particularly helpful or effective?
I think it is knowing that wherever you are at is perfectly fine. I love to say that to people. Let them be okay with where they're at. And then from there, you can provide tools and resources to them, like the gratitude shift, or, Erin and I also do a breaking barriers. It's a guided meditation for people to kind of uncover what's really you're holding on to inside that you might not realize, to unlock your potential. Things like that you can have access to. So I think if I could leave anyone with anything, it would be wherever you're at is perfectly fine. And everything you want is on the other side of fear. That's my other favorite quote. Fear is going to show up when we're feeling uncomfortable, because our body wants to keep us safe. So if you can remember that it's okay to feel all of these things, try one thing, see if it works. If it doesn't work, try something else. Lean into the people that you have around you, your success team. Listen to these kinds of things, and reach out for help. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with asking for help.
I love that. And it's very true. There is nothing wrong with asking for help. It's a hard thing to do sometimes, but it's not wrong. So
no.
Thank you, Kylene, for sharing that. I think a lot of people are going to take away those simple messages and hopefully apply them to their journey.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Awesome.
Yes. All right.
Well, there you have it, team.
Yep, there you have it, guys. Now we can, the two guys at the bottom of the screen can start talking again now.
Well, this is fantastic. I'm trying to figure out where I've seen that backdrop of yours, Kylene. But
I know.
She does have an extra light on that I normally don't put on, but that's okay.
Which one is that? The one above me?
Yeah, it drowns out. All right. Well, this has been a great conversation, you guys. Thank you, Cassie and Kristine, for leading this, and just thank you for what you're doing with Threads of Change. Kylene, wonderful to be able to hear your message, kind of sitting as a, normally I'm the one interviewing her or having a conversation with her, and so it was really cool to be able to do that. Anything that we missed at all, Kylene?
I don't think so. I mean, if you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to riseshinesmile.com, and you can find some of those resources we talked about there. I love to talk to people and hear people's stories. So I'm always here if people need any assistance. I'm here.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate it. And we will talk to all of you guys soon, and make sure you guys are all tuned into Threads of Change over there at apparelist.com /podcast.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, you guys.
Thank you, ladies.
Fantastic.
Okay.
All right. That was really great and fun to sit and listen for a change,
Absolutely. Yeah. We, it was, I'm sitting here in this trade show and it's pretty loud in here. Lots of people, really, lots of people here. So that's a good thing. But
yeah,
I'm excited to go back and listen again too, though, because I know there were certain things that I was missing along the way. So, but just go, subscribe over there to Threads of Change, and you've got what you need over there. So,
absolutely. All right,
Jerry, great stuff today. What's on the horizon for you here?
Yeah, well, I'm going to be in Chicago like you. I'm going to be there June 7th and 8th at Atlas Screen Supply doing my complete screen printing business course. I talked to Paul Gayton over there yesterday, and he said a couple of spots still open, which is kind of unusual. So if you guys, anybody's interested in my screen printing class, go to atlasscreensupply.com. And I need to update this weekend, Aaron, but need to update terrycombs.com for all of my upcoming events. And
Okay.
how about you, Aaron?
Yeah, definitely. And if I turn the camera, which would be a bad idea because it would be all messed up, but Atlas is right there. So I see Paul Gayton standing right over there. I'll
Very
say hi
nice.
for you. Yeah, well, as you can tell, I'm here in Schaumburg. So I do have a class today. So if you're anywhere nearby, like if you're listening right here, come check me out this afternoon. I'll be teaching Fast Track Your Success, half the time to achieve your goal at 2 p.m. today. So come learn the steps from going from a goal setter, which I think most of us are, right? Oh, this is the year I'm going to lose some weight, or this is, yeah, right, I'm going to better myself here. But that's a goal setter. It's the goal getters that we want to become, right? The people that actually achieve those goals. So to write not only this book, but my other book and things like that, I've used this format and process, and I'm going to teach people how to do that today. And even though we're almost halfway through the year, I think we can get done what we think was going to take us a whole year. I think we can get it done in a half year. So I'm going to prove that to folks today in that class. Tomorrow, I will be teaching how to master pricing for profit right here. That's at 12:30. And that's for anybody that wants to turn pricing from that dreaded task into an empowering tool in your business. So I'm excited about that as well. And then I will be hanging out right here in booth 320. And if we have some interest, I've got a little presentation I can do right here from the booth, but looks like people are pretty interested in the equipment and stuff too. So we'll see how that comes to fruition. But that's kind of me for right now. I've got some other things happening, but we'll save those for a future date.
No take up for Eric today. He is somewhere between New Mexico and Pennsylvania as we speak, and so hopefully we'll see Eric again maybe next week, and definitely the week after, back in the control booth. But as I mentioned before, we're skipping the secret sauce this week, so we'd have plenty of time for the podcast within a podcast.
Yeah, absolutely, Terry. So great show. Really appreciate everybody being here. Win News, they did a great job today. Cassie and Kristine, Threads of Change. I'm really excited about that. I'm glad that we got to share that with our listeners. Terry, I don't know if you remember this, back when we were kind of newer at this, 5-6 years in.
Yeah.
I always remember people being a little shy about, well, we're starting a podcast. Can we talk on your podcast about it? Like we were going to be mad about them starting a podcast. We're like, come on, bring it. The more, the merrier. Let's do this. So,
we definitely have. I don't want to say competition. We've definitely brought on other folks who want to do what we do and onto our show, because the more the merrier. And this podcast that we discussed today, Threads of Change, what an awesome idea, and hopefully it will be very, very successful. We're here at the end of the show. We want to thank Eric Campbell again. I just mentioned it, but hope everything is going well for you, Eric, and we're looking forward to seeing you back here again.
Yeah, definitely, Eric. Safe travels. I also need to thank my wife again. Really appreciate her being here. She took some time off work to be able to take advantage of our live schedule here, and I'm really proud of her and appreciate her sharing what's a passion area for her. She's such a helpful person and just always looking for ways to help people more, and she's got the tools to do it. So if you need to, if you ever need her or us, you can always go over to riseshinesmile.com, check out her yoga over there, or she's also got what she talked about with the sessions, the breaking barrier sessions that we do, and all that kind of fun stuff. But she's a resource that you guys want to use. I'm obviously biased, but I get to use those resources every day, and she's changed my life completely. So you guys can take advantage of that opportunity in front of you. So.
All right. So what do we have coming up next week, Aaron?
Say that one more time, Terry. I'm sorry.
What do we have coming up next week?
Oh, next week. Thank you. Good grief. I got off track there. I got so excited about talking about my wife. So next week we're going to welcome two-time DTFprinting.com award winner Spencer Chernoff of Limitless Transfers. And as if you walk around this show, there's a DTF machine in every booth. So it's still the talk of the industry. And we want to talk to him about what he's learned, what makes award-winning DTF printing, and what he's learned about kind of the space in general. And we're just going to kind of keep that DTF conversation going next week. Right?
Fantastic. Looking forward to that. Until then, I'm Terry Combs. He's Aaron Montgomery.
And that was the Two Regular Guys.
Here we go. We're out.
Awesome.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Two Regular Guys. We're here because of listeners like you, and we're so grateful to have you on this journey with us. For more valuable insight, be sure to visit our website, 2regularguys.com, and join the conversation on our Facebook page. And hey, if you or someone you know has expertise, a unique perspective, or a story worth sharing, we'd love to have them as a guest on the show. Just reach out. Remember, success in this industry isn't just about the equipment you own or the techniques you've mastered. It's about the mindset you bring and the connections you build. Keep learning, stay curious, and don't be afraid to think differently. Keep pressing on, and we'll catch you on the next episode of the Two Regular Guys.